This week's episode is sponsored by Helio Gas Detection.
Hey everybody, this is Richie from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Nomadic Rituals to the show. I've got Craig and Peter of the band at the moment. There's no sign of Mark. He refused to come on show and model a few t-shirts, so yeah, let him have his strap. There's no problem. So thanks anyway, Mark. And I have the fantastic Danielle as well down on the bottom right hand corner for those that are viewing the show. Welcome to the show again, Danielle. Nice to have you back.
Yeah, great to be on, guys. Delighted to be on for this one.
Yeah, it's just kind of a reunion of the four of us, really, since the last one.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
Awesome.
So we were just talking off screen that it was like Nomadic Rituals were on probably 2021, maybe, was it? Or
yeah, 2021 and 2022.
22, yeah. It was for the one for Tide. So please refer back to that episode if you want to know about the band and stuff like that, because we're not going back over that, because we have an important thing to talk about tonight. Is Fust, their fourth album release. Congratulations, lads. A mighty effort altogether, as bleak and grim as it is filthy and raw and heavy. Would that be kind of...
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Danielle, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's fucking deadly. There's some kind of changes, like I know the song is called Change as well, like, but there's kind of changes in there, like yeah, like there's that particular song actually kind of stood out, that there was kind of new metal kind of vibes. If there was tones were changed, like that could easily have been like a Korn song from back in the day. It's been really going for it, like, yeah. Wow. So I thought there was some nice changes in there as well. So yeah.
I thought it was just a really brutal release. Like, I mean, Bleak, you know, when Bleak, when I had to play Tides again just as a reference point, and Tides almost was like fucking like chock full of melody in places, you know, and this is just fucking intense and grim, and you know, you've really kind of went down a rabbit hole with this. So we'll probably talk about it as the songs go on, because as I said, it's just we're going to go do track by track. But maybe just a snapshot of where you are with it at the moment. Are you sick of listening to it? Are you happy with it? Are you excited? Or what's the crack with you?
I would say probably the quickest rundown for it is we'd finished Tides just before the pandemic hit and then released it during the pandemic. Yeah. So we hadn't been practicing very much, if at all. And then when we did get back to it, when things got back up to speed again and we could practice every week, there was a lot of things to be slightly angry about. There was definitely, you know, changes life, but a bit more annoyed about things, bit pissed off about some things. So it all got channeled into Fust, as it got called eventually. But yeah, it was this kind of the nice things and the nice before the pandemic times pushed to the side.
You can literally hear that, like, you can literally hear that. Craig, what about yourself? How do you feel about it?
I enjoy it. I'm not sick of listening to it. I don't know why I'm not, but you get that after a while. But I'm not that sick of listening to it. But I know it's going. I think it's gone hard this time. If you know what I mean. I don't know. I think we normally go hard, but this one was kind of a bit more motivated to be a bit more straight about it, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, calling it Fust as well. Is that right? F-U-S-T, a strong musty smell. Is that the correct translation?
Pretty much, just that sort of
an accurate description.
Yeah, you know, dankness, just that sort of stale sort of something you probably normally need to get rid of.
Like a fine cheese maturing in the fridge, yeah?
Yes. A word your mum would use to describe your own socks. Taking fusty things out of the room. You know, the scum and the mold and the piquancy.
Well, Go on, Danielle, sorry.
You know, like that smell that you like when you get a bad smell, that fucking rotten face maker. Ooh, it's the same face you make the whole time listening to this, so it makes sense. Yeah.
You're on this. You got it.
Yeah. But thankfully, the album cover doesn't reflect the strong musty smell. I'm glad that you kind of went with kind of I suppose it is surely a brother or sister to the previous album cover.
Yeah.
With the kind of bones and the stone and stuff like that. That was a nice touch.
Yeah. It's just another one taking things out of the ground and sort of sticking them together and thinking, I think this sort of represents what we're sort of going for, you know?
Yeah, because they look well together, don't they, Danielle, the two album covers?
Oh yeah, there's definitely like, it's like,
Good
you know,
relation.
Tal John mentioned before, like it's really nice to see a band that has like an image kind of tied up, and you can definitely see that continuing on, even though it wasn't similar, but even your first album cover, like you can see it's kind of like a theme going between them. But I suppose it's interesting, like Tides kind of had a lot of space and stuff around it, while this one feels, even the album cover feels grittier, you know, so it's class. Yeah. Did you take the photos yourself of that one again, Craig? Yeah.
I just took those photos myself, like, so I think that's it. Like, you're kind of getting the right idea about it anyway. But I think with a lot of our albums, I've kind of always tried to sort of have that continuation of, I don't know, a theme or a visual theme, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so the first song, Nothing Left to Call Home, we'll give this a blast and then we'll talk about it.
Cool.
This is the section I picked. There with the opening track there, what's ahead of you. God almighty.
I was laughing for those vocals coming at the end there.
I mean, you know, the closest band we probably have to them down south, Danielle, would be Tombs, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, actually that's a great comparison there. Yeah, the vocal style is unbelievable. It kind of, it's primitive, isn't it? And and it's almost kind of a bit of a black metal vocal kind of to it at times. But yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely cannot wait to see live. Like, there'll be rumblings.
Yeah.
Around the place anyway.
So like, I'm glad neither of you refer to it as singing. We jokingly call it face noises. Yeah, it's not quite singing. It's somewhere in between.
Like, we'll even said going to the studio now for like preparing for a recording session. Like, do you have a kind of a routine to get into the mood or get into the zone? I've seen the pics on Facebook, and you look fucking too relaxed altogether to be making this type of fucking music. Like,
well, in the past, we've kind of done all the tracking, all the instrumental stuff first with the guide vocal, and then me and Craig went in afterwards and added vocals in as a sort of overdub. All at the very end. With Tides, we essentially ran out of time in the studio, so had to do them, both of us in the same room, in like 2 hours. Did all the vocals. which was a bit stressful
Yeah.
and not great. So this time we did each song when we tracked it. We would then go in at the end of the song, do the vocals, and then get a better idea of where it's sitting, whether the take was good, whether we need to change things. And then it left us time at the end where if we needed extra overdubs or whatever, we could do it. But this album was a little bit different in how we did it, but it was really relaxed. Niall Doran in Start Together Studio is a wizard, and he's done all our stuff. He's been great. He's such a nice guy, very chilled, very relaxed. There, in the past, we're recording stuff. You get stressed over things, and making
stressed over things.
Usually me, who can't play the songs that he's written while there's pressure on. But Niall just kept it nice and calm and easy. It was significantly more stress-free than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because you can definitely hear there's more texture to the vocals, I think, in this record.
100%. I picked that up as well.
Yeah, you can feel that. All right, so that could have been a
one thing we sort of tried upon, sort of between me and Frodo doing the vocals, sort of not leaving it to an afterthought as much. You know what I mean? And sort of getting the bits done and right at the time, and then as he's saying, coming back to it afterwards just to kind of get it right.
Was that in isolated booths, lads, or was it in a room? Or
no, just in the room where we did the tracking.
Okay. So it was fairly easy as well on the eye that you're all together, not away from each other. Yeah,
we're always together when we're doing it. Like it's
interesting.
Yeah.
It works for some bands and others then it doesn't, it's strange.
I'm always very impressed by any band that can play to a click track, because I cannot, and I do not understand how you put your head in that position to do it. I need to look at the drummer, I need to look at Craig, I need to eyeball people.
That's a valid point, man.
No, there's definitely that point where we kind of have that, you want to hear the opinion of another person. Comes in this one day just to do his bit and he buggers off, where it's like if we come in, it's like extra ears, and that's kind of just I suppose that's just kind of how the band sort of goes. We're always kind of looking for what the other people say.
And how involved was Roger in the whole process as it was going along, or was he?
I don't even think Roger knew we were recording it when we went in. I kept that one hidden from him.
We
Surprise.
You're
kind of coming in now, Craig, or is it just me? Can you hear Craig?
No, he's doing it.
Okay.
I was saying we'd done Monkfest and we'd literally played a lot of those tracks.
Live.
We'd even recorded it. Mic going.
You're coming in now, Craig. I don't know, is it just your mic or what?
Oh, it could be the mic, but we said to him and just said, look, here, these are the tracks, and he says, you want to do the record again? He just says, yeah, no problem. That's the time. We just did the live bit, and that was it.
Legend.
Yeah, I should fuck it. Like, I mean, the stuff that Roger does, man, it's incredible with Curse Monk Records, and you're just the ideal band for him anyway. So I just, I can't wait to talk to him and find out his opinion on the whole album as well. I mean, you've obviously got feedback since you gave it to him, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's happy as far as we're, but like we've known Roger a long time now, probably 12 odd years from playing gigs when he was doing his Rory O'Bogle bit and various incarnations and those sort of things. He's always been a cool guy. He's always been easy to get on with, and he likes it, and we like that he likes it.
Yeah, that's important. Okay, let's go on to the second track, Boundless Formless, and we'll talk about that afterwards. Formless, meteorite. Elemental regicide. Boundless, formless, meteorite. Regicide. apologise that both tracks so far have nearly been at the end of the songs, but as I said, they're just my choice cuts. Danielle, feel free to shout whenever we come along your favourite song as well.
Will do. Yeah, I just have a question, guys. In general, you seem to use samples a lot throughout your whole album collection. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, what entices you to sample? How do you work it in? Is there like a particular theme? Do you try and find a sample that relates to the theme of the song, or what's kind of your thought process with that?
I would say, like, growing up, my favorite albums would have been like The Holy Bible by the Manic Street Preachers, various Pink Floyd things, lots of prog rock and Porcupine Tree. They all love a good, weird sample. But I think for the most part, a lot of them we have kind of went and found after the fact, where we've written the song, it's had a theme, and Craig's usually our sample man. He's got the ability to zoom in and find something. We did sit in the studio this time with various recordings on our phones going, what about this one? This one kind of fits. Now, what about this one? But yeah, trying to have a nice broad spectrum of different things, but Craig's the man for finding cool ones.
Go on, Craig.
A lot of audiobooks and things like that there, you know, and even, I don't know, you just see some videos or something and you just, I don't know, you know, a sentence or two and you just think, that would be a fucking cool sample, you know, cut this out and then folder that just has lots of samples in it, and I just go to him and be like, what about this one? This would sound kind of cool if you put it here, or, you know, I don't know, there's always a part in a song where you kind of go, that'll be class if there's, you know.
Well, I know, like, on Tides, the sample used in Cassini was Brian Blessed talking about his favorite Cassini, which is ripped from a podcast. And
nice.
Yeah, the Infinite Monkey Cage. We're still kind of hoping that he sends us a cease and desist, because I would love to have a cease and desist order from Brian Blessed. Yeah, that's the dream. But there's been Carl Sagan, there's been Noam Chomsky. They're usually relevant, but yeah, it's something we always like doing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, have you come across, like, even in the studio, we'll say, have you come across an unexpected moment or sound that became a part of one of your tracks?
I think every time we went into the studio, we've pretty much known where we're going with it, but there's still experimentation in the studio, especially when it comes to samples and synth sounds. Because we are not recording engineers and don't know how to treat things like that. Niall will kind of go, oh, what if I add some delay to it? What if I add this? What if I, you know, he's a good man with a good ear for just adjusting it, how to put it in. You know, because we'll turn up with some horrible MP3 off a phone and go, can you put this in the song, please?
Does it all every time.
Class. Okay, so anything else for that song, Daniel, or we move on?
No, it's just another banger.
Yeah, it's class. Yeah. Okay, number 3, Fault in the Process. This is one of my favorite songs, and we get it up here. cannot wait to see live. For some reason, in my head, you're just buried in fucking, what would you call it? Fog. I just think I barely see the lights of the fucking instruments, like, for that song, you know?
Yeah, there's a...
With these spaces, lots of fog is the best option.
That's going to be, that's obviously in your fucking live set.
Yeah,
of course,
as long as the place we're playing can accommodate some synthesizers.
Yeah. Is that a problem sometimes, Pete?
Yes, 100%. Venues in Ireland and their crap PAs. You know, because we could bring extra amps and cabs to run the synth separately. We usually try and rely on there being a PA with a monitor that you can hear yourself in.
Yeah.
That's rare. It's rare. There's maybe one or two venues in Belfast, a couple in Dublin. You know, Cork and Limerick have been all right, but for the most part, we try and, if you're playing somewhere, like we played Cavan last year and a few others, try and keep it a synth light set. Try and remove as many things that can go wrong as possible.
That's always probably in the back of your mind. Yeah, that's a fucking,
That song in particular is the hardest, I would say, to play on the album. There's definitely a weird kind of count in it. And if you can't hear yourself live, oh, it's spicy.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. Like, even going back to the studio time, lads, do you find that expensive? Like, how do you budget or manage finances for, like, kind of the recording process in general? Like,
kind of save up our pennies from the last album and sort of continue. But we kind of normally have an idea of sort of how much we got.
Okay.
And then just kind of go to, you know, as I say, we always go to Niall. He always does a good deal, like, so, you know. And just sort of say, this is kind of the budget we got. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone he gives us a good deal. We sort of roughly know kind of how much money it'll take.
Okay.
You know, and Niall's kind of, I mean, he's pretty good with his time, like.
Great.
So we just kind of make it work, you know.
And you have your shit together going in there.
That's one of the biggest things. It's like, don't waste your time going in. Like, if you're spending the money to do it, know what you're doing when you go in.
You listening up new bands out there?
Yeah, that's definitely it. Like, that's a newbie point. Like, but definitely, like, if you just practice until you don't want to practice it anymore, and then go and record it.
Yeah. It's good advice, Danielle, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And guys, Tides came out on class final. It was a lovely blue. What's the plan for this final? Have you any test pressings done, or what's the crack?
No, not yet. We've only just well, I suppose Roger's only sort of launched the first track yesterday, so it's the pre-order stage at the moment, but I think it's only going to be black vinyl this time, pure black.
Yeah, I actually got an email off Curse Monk Records, and it's a black vinyl.
Yeah, none more.
I don't know any more than that. There could be.
You probably know more than us, Richie.
Actually, is there going to be lyrics printed for this?
There's going to be a wee inside sheet.
Nice.
So
nice.
Good.
You get your lyrics.
Yay!
I'll be able to sing back at you or grunt back at you anyway when you come down to Limerick.
You didn't say you were going to be able to read them, though. There will be lyrics.
As long as they're all spelled right and actually correct.
Yeah. Whose job is that?
It's my job, but I'm pretty bad at it.
Oh. And do you have a thanks list and all this stuff as well? Do you go down that rabbit hole? Remember the Slug did it, and it was fantastic. Like, it was so, it took ages to read it. Like, there was just so many shout outs in it, but it wasn't on the CD, but it was on the album, you know?
No, that's actually we talked about this before, but it's like, I've never really done it. Like, it's just been very straightforward, you know. I suppose you could if you wanted. I don't know who I'd think.
Yeah, we were joking about this at practice. You know, you got to thank God, and you got to thank your mommy, and you got to thank the wee woman who walked your dog last Tuesday. We've always just done credits, and sometimes put the lyrics in it.
yeah. And you know what? That's perfectly fine too. But you know, someone like me, old school trash, that was the best part. You read through your lyrics and then you're going, fucking hell, they thank this band, they thank that band. Almost look up that band. Who's that person? This. You know, it's great fun that way, you know, but it's fucking down to the people involved, you know.
Yeah, like we did debate it, and we sort of went and sort of went, nah, if we haven't done it so far, we'll hold that off. But then again, I think Craig did upload all of the lyrics to all of our songs into Bandcamp. If you click on the tracks, they're all there. So yeah, if anyone does want to do that, reading your liner sheets, they can do it online.
Yeah, perfect. At least there's some form of recognition to the lyric writing in the band, which I always think is important if you're a nerd like me that likes to see what each song is about. Okay, Beneath Black Skies, track 4. We're progressing nicely, lads. This is a great track. Heard the fastest track on the album.
I think it gets faster as well. Like further you get through the track.
You have to buy the album to listen to it, lads. That's all I'll say. While those that are out there, but yeah, that is a great track, and it's a nice change of pace for me anyway. I was like particularly going, yes, here we go, nice old rhythm there going.
None of that slow stuff for you.
There's plenty. There's too much slow stuff for me, Craig. You know, it's just like this track 4 is a great part to just break that all up and just get a bit of fucking driving metal into you.
Yeah, there's good variety in the album, though, I thought. And in terms of like the order of songs, like was there a natural order for you guys, or did you find that you were kind of fighting over what went where?
No, I think. Frodo, you pretty much kind of got the good idea of where they should all go, because we end up recording them all or making them all in a certain order, and then sometimes you think we'll just release them all in that order, but then obviously you think an album sounds better when you switch them all around. But I know Frodo, pretty much you'd got a pretty much good idea of how they should go, you know, especially that A and B side type of.
Yeah, I'm always a big one. Love of prog of all its shapes and forms. So I like a good, if it's not a concept album, at least something thematic and something that flows well.
Yeah.
And these tracks were written, as Craig said, you know, we had been playing them sort of in the order that they were written. But then I think it was quite near the end, we started actually timing to see how long each one of them was. You said Black Skies, it's fast. We genuinely thought it was one of the longest songs, the album, until we actually checked the timing and went, it's about the same as most of the others. But it was a little bit of just rearranging a few things to give it a flow. Like Craig's lyrics in this tend to be quite thematic. There's a lot about kind of earth and soil, and maybe something to do with him studying horticulture at the time. Might have influenced. But yeah, I think we kind of got a good. Well, it's not a concept album like Mark in the Day or even as thematic as Tides. It definitely has a kind of through line, and they did need to land in a certain order with a record. You know, second side, as you said, it's a pacier track. It picks it up a bit. It's going to be track 1 on side 2. It'll get the album moving again. That's
what genuinely what I thought, like, you know, and that's actually nice to hear that it's the first song on side B on track. Class, okay. And just when the whole recording was done, lads, did you tweak anything in post-production, or did you keep them as close as the original take as possible?
Other than maybe trimming the beginnings and the ends to get things to line up, no, not really, because we recorded it in a session with Niall over 4 days. We did go back and mix things and adjust stuff, but we didn't add anything. You know, everything that was recorded, apart from the vocals, was recorded live. Maybe there's some guitar overdubs. There's some synth was added in afterwards, so the guitars were bleeding in through it and that. But yeah, most of that's, you know, their live takes for the bass line of it, and then tidied up on top.
And like, did you send any notes then? Because you went with the master himself, Brad Boatright, again. What a legend! And did you send any liner notes to Brad for guidelines, or what? How did you approach sending the whole package to him?
I forwarded it to him, and he just kind of gave like a paragraph or something, and basically just say, I want it to sound like this, or I massive, want it to sound massive. I want to hear these parts, and blah blah blah. But a lot of the times, I kind of think with a guy like that, he kind of knows what you sort of want.
Okay.
Not down to the letter, like, but he knows kind of what ballpark you're playing in, and it might take a revision or so just to say, let's change just this aspect of the sound, but no, he's pretty bang on. Like, that's why he's good at what he does.
100%, especially since he had Tides as well before that, as a reference.
And Mark in the Day, I think that's our third one with him, and he's just been great. It's that strange thing with mastering where a lot of people don't bother with it because they go, I can't understand it. It is quite expensive, but it is that thing that when you get your tracks back and go, oh yeah, it does kind of sound, I don't know, 200, 300 quid better.
Yeah.
Don't know what he's done, but it's better, it's bigger, it's, we give him a lot of adjectives and he definitely ticked them all off the list.
Brilliant. That's what you want, like, okay, so track 5, Change. I'm guessing this is one of your favorites, Danielle.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Class.
I knew it. Yeah, same here, by the way. correct single for the the album. And the first song,
yeah, it's class. There's a bang of Fust off of it, all right.
Do you know what, that section there, and I deliberately picked that because the opening section of that, especially the fact that you're from Northern Ireland, and I'm a huge early Therapy fan. I just went, oh my God, that's like very early Therapy before they got all poppy and commercial. Does that make sense?
Like
no?
Trouble Gum? Trouble Gum, is that the sort of...
No, before that even, again, Baby Teeth.
Oh, okay, right.
They're not a band I've genuinely ever given much time to, even though they are from, their local boys and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I think maybe Craig's listened a bit, Mark maybe a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. That one kind of came pretty quick. It wasn't, that song was easy enough to write. It was pretty straightforward. Craig had a good theme and it lent itself to, it all fell in. It was probably the easiest to record. I think we did that. That might be one or maybe the second take.
It's the one I can remember the most how to play.
Yeah, that helps.
Isn't it true, Danielle? Sometimes that some of the best fucking songs are the easiest ones to fucking construct and get out there really fast, and you get an immediate reaction.
Yeah, you hear like the classics of like Smoke in the Water and Paranoid were like the fastest songs ever to write. So yeah. Absolutely. But that riff is so fucking catchy. Do you get what I mean? Where it's kind of almost like an early Korn kind of jigga 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 jigga. It's off.
It is really, actually really, yes.
Really catchy. So yeah, I can see that being a really popular one live.
We definitely have a little like in-band joke that you have to be able to meow a riff. That if you can do it with cat sounds, Iron Man's meow 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 meow, whatever. Sweet, whatever it was.
As a cat owner that has two cats, fucking class. You've just ruined it now for me. Whenever that's it now with Nomadic Rituals, I'll be going meow, meow, meow.
And if, leaving practice, if we can't meow the riff we have just written, we are not going to remember it for next week. It's not going to stick,
Oh, that's fucking brilliant.
You should release the meow cut of each of your albums.
If Rog wants to put it out, we will do that.
Look at Craig disgusted up there going,
He's the architect of the meow.
The architect of it.
The aristocrat.
Oh, lads, that's brilliant. Just even with a song like Change, I just wanted to find this offy, and it's probably a question that's just will make you reflect more than anything else, because is there a particular recording session that you felt defined the sound of the band or a specific album? This is your fourth album in, so how about that?
Well, that's a tough one. You got anything, Craig? I'll need a wee minute to think.
So we did Holy Giants, and that was us just going in and going, this is what we got, but it's not refined. And then we went back and done that split, The Great Dying. And I think that there was something about doing that one specifically, I think, really sort of led on to then, of course, marking the day and then the progression on the tides, I think that The Great Dying was probably the one that we kind of really thought about, after you've initially.
Of course, it would mute him when he was saying that. Just the key point there got muted, Craig. Will you repeat that?
I don't know why it keeps muting me out here, but it's
you should again.
They're going again. You go from you're being an initial band and you have these ideas for them, and then the marking that are. The Great Dying was that initial one that I think we'd kind
of. Do you think he's doing it on purpose? Some sort of audio trolling. Yeah, well,
it might be that he's swinging the chair back and forth and it's going in and out.
I do agree with Craig though. That Great Dying session, I think because we were putting it out in vinyl, because we're doing it ourselves, we really, you're asking about money and going into record, that one was the big jump. That one, it was us and Tom putting a lot of our own cash into it, putting a huge amount of our own time, screen print and everything. Everything needed to be considered before we went in. And I think going in, understanding how a studio works, and then knowing what they expect and the times that things take. And there was a lot of hiccups with that. We learned a lot very quickly. But yeah, I agree with Craig. Doing that longer song, multiple parts, synths and samples and strange things, and that probably would have been the one that we learned the most from and kind of set us up to keep going.
Brilliant, excellent stuff. Okay, we'll jump on to the last track, The Rot, which is it's an interesting one. Yes, fucking hell, it's just unrelenting, isn't it, really? Throws me over to 10-ton slug for absolute just heaviness and just gurning, you know what I mean? Yeah. Why was this the last track, lads?
Probably because we thought it was the longest altogether.
Which it is, yeah.
Adding the Roger McGough poem at the start of it definitely gave it that wee bit extra time, but I think it kind of sums up the album. It kind of rounds it out. The rot, the poem itself is talking about that kind of the moldiness, the nastiness that can creep into modern life, and that sort of old fusty institutions and things like that. It all just kind of came to a head in the rot, and it was one of our trickier ones to write. I think it did take a little while to kind of pull it all out, but it sits well as an ender, and I think the little coda at the very last verse of it just wraps the whole album up, and it's just there we go.
Yeah, I suppose we haven't really talked about Mark's contribution because he's not on the show. That's your own tough shit, Mark. But I know I'm not one to hold grudges, like. But let's talk about Mark's contribution to the whole album, and just give him a kind of a bit of an LG up there, you know.
He played the drums.
That is what Mark would say as well if you asked him. But no, he's just so consistent. He's such a good drummer. He always has just a little bit of spice or something to drizzle into. We might have a pretty prosaic, straightforward riff, and he'll do some drum thing, and we go, oh, do that again. He's the daddy of the band. He's secretly the one in charge behind.
He's the one that pulls you back if you go too far out, Craig, is it?
Winds you in.
I have to follow Mark. I can't follow Frodo. That's not going to happen.
I don't follow Craig. We don't do timing.
Yeah, the drumming is great right through the album, Danielle, isn't it? As a drummer yourself.
And even like listening to the rock there, the snare sound and that, and snare is really driving that piece that you played there, Richie. It's class, and yeah, the drums never feel overcooked, but they just really fit the vibe. But also filling sections that, like, you know, as you said, need that little bit of an extra spice. It's just it's
because
fantastic.
sometimes, you know, like a drummer doesn't have to be fucking doing fucking flary stuff and, you know, doing fills and all like that. It's actually probably really hard for Mark to kind of just pull back and leave the music breathe, you know, and not come to the fore as a drummer, you know, just.
He's definitely like a drummer's drummer. We've had over the, you know, last 12, 13 years, but so many people who are drummers come up this, your drummer's really good. It's like, he's ours, keep away. But, you know, those little like ghost notes which he loves, and little, you know, tricky little things, they just all add to it. Yeah, as you said, never overplaying, never underplaying, just keeping it right and locking all those songs together. Without Craig finding them, the band would never have happened. Mark is he's a rock.
He's the anchor.
Yeah.
He'd be delighted now with that fucking little contribution from us all there, you know.
I just wish he was here.
That we all do. He owes us at least a $5 or a pint for all that.
And Danielle, have you been watching the lads making their own t-shirts and hoodies? Have you seen that at all on Facebook?
No, I follow you on Instagram. I haven't seen that, no.
Or maybe it's on Instagram as well. How did that come about? Was it just cost savings again?
Pretty much. I like doing it.
Okay.
It does cost, I mean, yeah, it's cheap to do once you get started, like, and just do whatever you want all the time.
Yeah.
I trained in graphic design for print. Craig was working as a graphic designer when we started the band. It's both been something that me and him love doing, and, you know, the artwork, or whether it's t-shirts or whether it's album art or poster or whatever. But Craig is the man who went, oh, I can screen print. I reckon we could do our own. And I went, I'll follow. And he's led the way ever since. So the sweatshop owner.
Yeah. Now, one bit of advice, I don't know how possible it is that if you were to do your merch for us down the south of Ireland, you'll definitely sell a lot more if it's through maybe Curse Monk, if you can do it that way, because if we were to buy it directly off ye, for each hoodie, I'd probably be paying an extra €8 on tax for each hoodie. And t-shirts as well. It's a fucking nightmare because I've been caught so many times. I've actually stopped buying merch off bands in Northern Ireland because we tried to get around it. Andy from The Crawling as well tried to get around it, but still just constantly getting fucking caught for shit down the south. And it's just a fuck up. And there is a treaty in place, but it's just the fuckheads in Dublin from An Post see the Royal Mail and they'll just fucking nail you. They won't even check if it's from Northern Ireland, you know?
Yeah. No, Craig's been dealing with that a little bit because he's been sending them all out. And yeah, there's a number you're supposed to put in the front of the parcel to save you paying the tax and all that. But as you said, people just ignore it. It's a hateful situation, but I think you're totally right. And when we make a bit more merch for the full launch and everything, if we're doing t-shirt packages and that, we'll maybe go and drive them down the roads and drop them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just bear that in mind because, you know, it's something that I've said to a few bands in the past, just like there's a huge market for your merch down south, like, because we fucking love buying merch full stop, don't we, Danielle? But like when it comes to just getting stuff off bands in Northern Ireland, and with the best intentions, lads don't fucking know either, you know what I mean? But it's just when it arrives to the fucking, well, it doesn't arrive to the house, you get a fucking angry letter off fucking Dublin post office going, you owe us €7 or €8. Like the Molar Bear one, the pink one I bought, ended up costing me €32. The most expensive fucking t-shirt I ever bought.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
And it was fucking pink.
We'll do you a pink one if you want.
Take your order and for you.
So that's just my little two-pence worth there.
No, you've a point. It's any small businesses are struggling with this at the minute, and the whole north all the sea border and all the Brexit kick on and everything has not been making it easy for anybody, never mind bands. But noted. Advice taken on board.
I've been trying to think of ways to get around it, like, so
yeah. As I said, fucking the Crawling are one of the best out there for merch, and Andy's head was fucking melted from it.
I'm very sorry. I'm gonna have to go for a wee second here.
Yep, no problem. Craig, you're gonna handle the gig situation. What's coming up in the next few months for you? Are you going to press ahead and do an album launch in Northern Ireland, or what are you up to?
So we've been trying to sort out maybe a wee sort of tour with Junk Drawer and Tombs.
Oh, stop. Okay,
but
class.
It's in the works.
Okay.
We're gonna try and sort something out. The only actually confirmed gig I think is there's the next Monk Fest. I think it's in July, possibly.
Yeah, it's July. Yeah.
So I think we're confirmed for that there, but that's literally the only one we've actually got a date for.
Okay.
But there's something in the works, so we'll let you.
Well, you did mention Tombs earlier. We were trying to get a little power trio tour going with us, Tombs, and Unbelievable Lake, but organizing 9 lads herding cats comes to mind.
Yeah. Monkfest class. I'm excited for that one now because I was at the last Monkfest you were at, but I was off to drink that day. But I pulled my back at Tombs and I had to go home. Remember that, Richie? I had to get like physio for like 9 months after.
That was hilarious. Well, it wasn't hilarious, but it was just like...
hilarious. Yeah, and I wasn't even drinking, like, so... Yeah. So
It doesn't sound like gigs are a good thing for you.
I know, yeah.
yeah, it's just law of averages, lads. If you go to so many gigs like myself and Danielle you're going to get something in the like I've had a miraculous fucking run myself now. I'm just waiting to be face planted now by some.
Well, like Tombs are going to be the band that'll do it to you, like, you know, so those riffs, like,
that's just insanely heavy if that comes off, man. Fucking hell. Getting reflux at the thought of the fucking 3 of them playing Freds in Cork.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, just crazy.
The rumble.
Yeah, so the album comes out on March the 14th, and I think on digital and CD, and April the 11th for the LP.
Yep, correct.
That's the information I have at the moment. And anything else you want to throw out there before we finish up, lads?
We'll probably be doing t-shirts and a few things like that, but yeah, other than buy stuff off Curse Monk, if you want us to play in your town, give Craig a message. You know, Facebook, Instagram.
Like you put in some amount of gigs in 2024, lads. Like a fair amount.
Little bits here and there, but it was so good. You know, ones with 10 Ton Slug, ones in Cavan with Fraud. We enjoy doing it. We love doing it, and we're generally, if somebody asks, we'll say yes.
Yeah. And Orcus was Niall as well from Orcus.
Yeah, we played with him a couple of times this year, and they're good boys. They love them to bits. Couldn't get a better band.
And what about? Were you impressed with the Realm Kingdom release, lads? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I've loved them since they started. That just big vocal and really clever music. You know, we always think of ourselves as a bit regressive. You know, it's not progressive, it's regressive, it's gone backwards. But they have taken that progressive thing and just nailed it. You know, I love them. They're great. More of that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And Fraud might be coming up with something new this year. I know you mentioned them and played with them as well. You know, another great band. So it's exciting stuff.
They're supporting Grey Stag this weekend in Limerick. Fraud are just announced today. Yeah. Then and Black Shook. So that'd be class.
Wow.
That'll be fun. Don't break a leg at that.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Try not to. Yeah.
I saw Fraud at the Siege. Didn't they play Siege?
Really good Siege. Yeah. Really good.
thankfully I saw them at that. They were intense, great band live as well, you know. So that's it, lads. Congratulations on a fantastic album. Well worth the time and effort put into it, because Fust is just, it's disgustingly good.
I think we'll be talking about it again, I'd say, at the end of the year.
Correct,
100%.
100%,
in the awards, 100% will be brought up,
Keep an eye on your socials. As I said, it's coming out on March the 14th on Curse Monk Records. You know, the lads will be announcing probably gigs over the next few weeks or months anyway, for sure. So hopefully you'll be making to Cork and Limerick anyway, and maybe a Siege appearance. Hint, hint, John, if you're watching, will go down well amongst us all. So Craig and Pete, thanks again for coming on the show. Great seeing you, lads.
Cheers, Richie. Thanks very much.
Yeah, Danielle, thanks again. And love and respect to the boy that's missing, Mark.
Oh, poor Mark.
And that's it, lads. You've been listening to Nomadic Rituals, and crucially, everybody, support your local music. See you.